So unfortunately, Belgrade, Serbia is not as cheap as I was hoping for carnivores. I am carnivore since November 20th, 2019, and I went as far as only consuming ribeye, salt and water and very few supplements for 30 days. And then I gradually added more carnivorous foods. We were in Belgrade, Serbia from June 17th until July 15th, 2024. Until Serbia, pork, except for prosciutto, wasn't on my dietary plan. Why? It's not a ruminant and they can't eliminate almost all of the plant toxins. And pigs, they literally eat everything. So I wanted to wait until I have a lot more money and I could afford the best quality pork and I would know exactly what they would have fed the pigs. Anyways, we got to Belgrade, Serbia, and their pork is just so much cheaper than beef. So yeah, I started eating pork again to be able to save money. And yes, I ate the pork from the grocery store, not knowing at all what they fed the pigs. Well, mostly we just went to the closest Maxi grocery store from our Airbnb where we were staying. And there I mostly bought just whatever was 30% or 50% off. Ground pork, ground beef, ground turkey, turkey breast, chicken thighs, oh, and even eggs. That so reminded me of Reno. There I always went to Winco and I always bought whatever was reduced price. But eggs were never reduced price. And in Serbia they were 50% off, super cool. But in Reno I got a shit ton of different meat, beef cuts, steaks, so many steaks, reduced price, not there. I feel like back in Reno, we always bought meat when it was on reduced price. And look, all that is 30% off, even the eggs. So cool. I love buying meat like that. I love shopping like this. I really miss eating other kinds of beef than just ground beef. But I have to admit the ground beef was so delicious. Raw or cooked. I was like grinded up very finely, so they were like these thin worms, and the taste was just so delicious. And it tasted the same like in Turkey. Oh yeah, here is the video Carnivore in Turkey, if you want to watch that. Once in a while I got some pork chops. I wasn't eating that for 4.5 years, I think. It was nice eating it again, but it's just not beef. In Serbia you find lots of cured and smoked meats, but only the njeguši ham is clean, meaning just meat and salt. So if there's something else on it, I won't eat it. So, funny story, already when we were still in Reno, Nevada, before we started this Nomad Life on March 30th, 2024, I saw on the internet in Montenegro there is this little village called njeguši, and they make this ham and just pork and salt like the prosciutto. I was like, I wanna try this ham. So funny, we already found it in Serbia, Belgrade, and I'm telling you, it's so delicious. It's really smoky, so it's like strong, and also the smell and the taste, it's really great. Oh, so about the salt. Of course, I'm only consuming pure salt, meaning ingredients, salt. No anti-caking agent, no dextrose, aka sugar, no iodine. You won't find that in Serbia. No pure salt. By law, they have to put iodine in all the salts, so even the Himalayan pink salt crystals in the grinder have iodine in it. I think that is so wrong. I think everyone should be able to decide for themselves if they want to have iodine in their salt or not. Yes, I do consume iodine. I have that in my supplements, but good quality, high quality iodine, just 1 drop a day. And so I know how much I'm getting. I eat a shit ton of salt, so I don't know if I then get an overdose in iodine. Well, that doesn't happen that fast. But still, you should let people decide for themselves if they want iodine in the salt or not. Okay, shit, so what did I do in Serbia? Luckily, I still had enough salt from Turkey. So totally pure, fine Himalayan pink salt, and such a delicious Anatolian sea salt crystals that I had in the grinder. So delicious. So I still had enough salt for me. But Paul and I, we both consume a lot of salt. We need it. So we bought Himalayan pink salt with iodine in it for Paul. So I had enough of the clean pure salt for me. Yeah, so mean. No, Paul also eats kind of whatever. He eats spicy foods, he eats street foods, he eats even sweets, sometimes, very rarely. But so he's not clean anyways, and he eats much worse stuff than iodized salt. So yeah, I don't. So he gets to get the iodized salt. So during our stay in Belgrade, Serbia, I had more than enough salt just for me. So if you are going to Serbia and you only want clean salt, you gotta bring your own. Once we went to the big market and they also had fresh fish and meats there. So I bought some fresh fish. But in grocery stores, we could rarely find any fresh fish, just frozen. They were selling roasted fish and it looked so good. So I went over there and I looked at the grill. So it's just a grill. Next to the grill was like a container. There was like something. And I was already, I'm pretty sure there is oil in it because so the fish doesn't stick to the grill. I asked if it's just fish and salt. And he said, yeah, only fish. I was like, yeah, and oil? And he said, yeah, just a tiny bit, just a little bit. And yeah, no. I don't want anything that has just a tiny bit of seed oils on it. To be clear, unfortunately, the fish they sell there that's grilled, they're not clean, they have seed oils on it. Yeah, we found a MAP gas canister, but they didn't have a fitting head for it. Didn't matter, we brought our own from Reno. In Reno, we bought the exact same canisters for torching. Yes, I could finally torch again. Look what we found, and it's even MAP gas, much stronger than propane, usually also more expensive, but that's the only one they had. So, and the funny thing is, they had a torch head there too, but it didn't fit. But we brought that over. Paul says it's standardized, and it looks like it should fit. So let's check it. I can start torching again. Should we try it? Oh my gosh! I can torch again! Yes! I love torching steaks, so it's nicely burned on the outside. Well, not burnt, but nicely seared on the outside and still raw on the inside. But unfortunately, we didn't really buy anything that I would like to torch. The ground pork, the ground beef. I still use the torch a little bit for fun, but I really hope in the future I can use the torch much more. Around 3 days before we left Belgrade, Serbia, I made it clear I want to go check out Lidl. That was like in the center of Belgrade. We were living a little bit outside, so we made it happen. And shit, I wish that Lidl would have been so much closer to us. So much bigger, so much more selection. Oh, and I found a bottom round roast beef for 30% off. Finally beef again, something else than ground beef. Well, yeah, it's not a ribeye, it's not ribs, but finally something else than ground beef. That was cool. And they also had chicken thighs without skin, they had fresh fish, fresh trout I bought there, and just the selection was so much bigger. I don't know if it was cheaper than the Maxi. I think some products were cheaper and some not. As mentioned, Paul is not a carnivore at all, so a video about traditional foods in Serbia will follow soon. Right now I'm in Ulcinj, Montenegro, so of course a video carnivore in Montenegro will follow in the future. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss it. And hey, if you know of something carnivorous I should try here in Montenegro, please let me know in the comments. Oh, and if something non-carnivorous for Paul to try, put it in the comments. Stay happy, stay healthy, bye.